Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be experimenting with a new type of video. I'm going to be doing a compilation video of every team's last scoreless quarter. I certainly learnt some interesting things in the making of this video, and I'm pretty sure you will too if you watch it, so just sit back and enjoy, and we'll get started listing every team's last scoreless quarter in the AFL. Adelaide's most recent scoreless quarter came in the 2020 season, round 3, when they took on the Gold Coast Suns at Metricon Stadium. They were held scoreless in the first quarter, while the Gold Coast Suns scored 2 goals, 7 behinds, and 19 points in total. An interesting fact about this match is that it was actually the first time that the Gold Coast Suns ever beat the Adelaide Crows in their history.
Here goes inside 50. Day. Matt Crouch just got a handball, stolen back. King! All hail the King!
The last time the Brisbane Lions ever experienced a scoreless quarter of footy was way back in round 8 of 2016, where in the first term they did not manage to score a single point, while the Collingwood Magpies managed to score 4 goals, 9 behinds and 33 points. And it took almost until the halfway point of the second quarter for the Lions to register their first score after the Magpies had already put on 61 points of their own.
A natural law again to try and get them running off half-back. To go, his follow-up was good. And it's more, in fact it's young Crocker in the pocket. Crocker, his first goal in AFL football, can celebrate.
The last time the Carlton Blues were held scoreless in a quarter of footy was in round 2 of 2020, when they found themselves 32 points to 0 down at quarter time. And despite this massive lead they gave away early in the game, they did manage to bring themselves back into the game, and they almost did win. However, they did go down by 1 point in the end.
McDonald about to pounce to Melksham, opens it up to Petrarca. Curnow, strong hands though, brilliant hands from the bull Petrarca.
Now moving on to Collingwood, whose most recent scoreless quarter occurred in the 2020 semi-final against the Geelong Cats. They were held scoreless in the second quarter after only scoring the 1 goal in the first term, and they only managed to score 1 point in the next third term as well, so they were only on 7 points at 3/4 time. Not the best final for them.
Wow.
Now looking at Essendon, their last scoreless quarter occurred in the first round of the 2015 season when they took on Sydney, and they were held scoreless in the final term, and somehow, despite leading by 34 points at 3/4 time, they managed to lose that game by 12 points.
Trapped it well, flicks it out. Heaney, the 18-year-old to be the hero, the local product.
In what was one of the lowest scoring quarters of the AFL 2020 season, Fremantle were held scoreless in the opening term of the round 9 clash against Collingwood. However, Collingwood only managed 8 points themselves in this first term, and Fremantle ended up getting the win by 12 points, so they had the last laugh this game.
Cameron flicked it to Adams, towed it inside 50. Good attack from Hughesby, left it behind. Dacos, Sire, on cue, nails the first. The Bear gets the opener.
Now to see Geelong's last scoreless quarter, we have to go back a fair bit, all the way back to round 13, 2010, in what was at the time a top-of-the-table clash between Geelong and St Kilda. It was a wet weather night of footy, and at half-time Geelong had the lead by 16 points. However, a scoreless third term saw them 17 points down at 3/4 time in a game that St Kilda would eventually win by 24 points.
Scarlett misjudged it completely. Little check in the box, gets his second.
Gold Coast's most recent scoreless quarter now occurred in round 20 of the 2021 season against Melbourne in the third quarter. This was a game they got belted in by 98 points. They only scored 1 point in the second quarter as well, and had about 14 goals scored on them consecutively at one stage. So it wasn't a very good day for the Gold Coast Suns. They got belted pretty badly.
Afternoon, usually a dead eye in front. He's got his kicking boot on. He's got his third.
The GWS Giants' last scoreless quarter happened in the second term of their Round 5 2015 clash against the West Coast Eagles at Subiaco Oval, which is obviously the West Coast Eagles' old home ground. This would be a game that the Giants would end up losing by 97 points, as they were still a very young and inexperienced time, whereas the Eagles were among the best teams in the competition.
Shuey took it, hooked it over the body. Haynes, he just spoiled Davis, and guess who? The captain, Hearn. 4 in a row, West Coast Eagles.
Hawthorn's last scoreless quarter was in round 7 2021 against the Saints. They were held scoreless in the first quarter, while St Kilda piled on 34 points of their own, and they eventually went down by 69 points.
So they're down 11-5, and the ball's really living in St Kilda's forward half.
Yeah, they're controlling it by hand, aren't they, effectively, and then Steele with the entry kick, and King hangs on this time.
To see Melbourne's last scoreless quarter, we have to go back to round 1 2019 against Port Adelaide, when they were held scoreless in the final term of that game. Port Adelaide managed only 2 goals and 6 behinds themselves. However, it was enough to get them a 26-point win, as Justin Westhoff kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter and finished with 5 for the match.
And he does. He had to do it, and he did it beautifully. Can he break the tackle? No, he can't. Jonas fought back. Well done.
North Melbourne's most recent scoreless quarter came in round 12 of the current 2022 season. They found themselves up by 17 points at quarter time. However, they failed to score in the next quarter, which allowed the Suns to get a stranglehold on the game and run out eventually 62-point winners.
Rowell had a chance. Well, he does. Here we go. Rankin from the pocket. Oh, he's a class act.
Up next is Port Adelaide, whose most recent scoreless quarter came in round 13 of 2019 against Fremantle in the final quarter. They did actually lead this game by 1 point at 3-quarter time. However, Michael Walters' 5th and 6th goals got Fremantle over the line in a bit of a sluggish last quarter, but it was a win nonetheless for Fremantle.
Dominated through the first 3 quarters. Here's Fife with another clearance. Matera!
That's huge. This is it's the story right there.
Richmond's last scoreless term occurred in round 11 of 2020 against Port Adelaide in the final quarter. They led by 1 point at 3-quarter time in what was a high-scoring, tight game of footy. However, Port Adelaide put on a few quick-fire goals early in the final term, and then were able to lock it up and stop scoring for either side in the last half of the last quarter. And by that point, Port Adelaide had the game in hand with a 3-goal lead.
All good, all clear.
Solo in the run. Dumps it down. Dustin Martin time now. Leans down, picks it up. They pick him up. Ball. Rockcliffe has a couple of nouns and verbs.
That's 50.
It is 50.
St Kilda's most recent scoreless quarter occurred in round 17 of 2020 against the West Coast Eagles. They led by 10 points at quarter time, however did not score in the second term. They went on to lose this game by 15 points.
He came in at speed and nailed him. I'm sure it was Barris. Yes, it was.
Up now is the Sydney Swans, who suffered their most recent scoreless quarter in round 3 of 2022 against the Bulldogs. This happened in the second quarter and resulted in a halftime lead to the Bulldogs of 25 points. The Swans would eventually come back into the game, but Josh falls short by 11 points.
Franklin in the middle of that pack, great mark. Just going up and plucking it out of the air.
The West Coast Eagles are the most recent team to have suffered a scoreless quarter in any game. In fact, in the most recent game that they did it, they managed to not score in not one but two quarters. The first and final quarter of the game in round 17 against Carlton. It was a very dirty day for the Eagles. They managed to make a bit of a mini surge throughout the middle part of the game. However, Carlton showed their class and kept them to not one but two scoreless quarters of footy.
Blues controlling the footy in this final quarter. There's Motlop to Doherty. He wobbles one in, but he finds the target. And it's Paddy Cripps.
The final team we are looking at today, the Western Bulldogs, they suffered their most recent scoreless quarter in round 19 of 2018 against Port Adelaide in Ballarat. It was a very wet, sluggish game of footy, and the Power by the end of it had all of the control. They managed 4 goals, 6 to no score in the final term and ran out winners by 44 points.
What end up with a football? This is the first game of Farrell, who's coming up for his 8th touch. His first game.
Lines it up. It's good. It's sensational. It's his first goal in the big time.
Well, there you have it, guys. That was the last time every team in the AFL suffered a scoreless quarter. I had fun researching and making this video, so if you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.